What is going on? We're back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, if you guys did not see this news during the whole All-Star week, it was kind of out of nowhere, I'm going to be honest. Like, we heard some rumors about it in May and June, but we didn't really hear it was going to happen. So here it is from Evan. It says, the sale of the Rays from Patrick Zalupski's group is about $1.7 billion, expected to final at September. So there you go. And the team is likely to remain in Tampa. So this was a very interesting article. I definitely wanted to, show some love to this and talk about the Rays situation, just because it's kind of escalating. And maybe with new ownership, they can get a new stadium, instead of leaving the Trop and George Steinbrenner Field and all that stuff. It basically just goes on to stay kind of how this all happened. He's a Jacksonville developer. $1.7 billion is the deal. Everyone kind of refused to speak on this, basically, from both sides, from all three groups with the Rays and then the two parties. Very interesting. Steinberg obviously bought the team for $200 million in 2004. So obviously made a pretty solid profit at 1.7 bill. He's going to at least get $1 billion of that. So that's pretty insane. So yeah, no one wanted to comment on this. And then Sport Tag put down in June, apparently they were interested in buying the team. There was a lot of other candidates, as you guys can see right here. A lot of other people wanted to get involved. There was a group in Memphis that wanted to get involved, which was pretty interesting. And the article kind of says what the Rays have been dealing with for the last, little bit. And then this is the most interesting article. Obviously, we know Manfred and the owners wanted him to sell. And it looks like he actually did do it, which is pretty insane because I didn't think he was going to be all the way honest. That was the thing, obviously playing in Steinbrenner Field at the Yankees spring training facility this year. And then we have the fight for $1.3 billion for the new park in St. Pete, which was supposed to happen, supposed to get voted on. And then the Rays pulled out of it. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Now they don't even want to talk to the Rays. So maybe under new ownership, a lot could happen. But this is in St. Petersburg, and he wants to move the team to actual Tampa Bay, which is good. That is exciting. Manfred said last month, hopefully the Rays could turn to the Trop for the 2026 season, which is definitely exciting. He said the repair is moving along, which is good. So that is definitely something cool. They're supposed to play 2026 opening day at the Trop. Obviously, they're repairing it from Hurricane Milton that happened. So very excited that this is all getting repaired and done, because we want to see the Rays in an actual stadium and not like a spring training facility, right? I think that's kind of the main part. And speaking about the spring training facility real quick, this came out too, that the MLB has decided that the Rays could play any potential home games at George Steinbrenner Field. They asked the league to play somewhere else. I probably imagine because they wanted to sell more tickets, to be honest, because the stadium doesn't hold that much. And, when they played at the Trop, the stadium wasn't full, but they sold way more tickets than Steinbrenner Field can be held. So that is definitely something. These posting games could be really cool, honestly, because there's not going to be a ton of people there, but it's going to be packed. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool. But yeah, they're going to be playing Steinbrenner Field for their posting game, so we don't got to worry about that. Yeah, for this new ownership and the new stadium and all that stuff, it's very exciting. I mean, I'm very excited to see what he's got in store. Obviously, I think under new ownership, the team got a better shot to get a facility. They're just kind of screwed being in St. Pete. So they got 2 seasons to figure out. They got 26 and 27 on their lease. They added an extra year to that lease because of this season, by the way, which is very cool. So 2028 would be the year that they have to figure out and get a new stadium by, or have some deal in place, or maybe get a little lease extension with the Trop, so then they could go to that new stadium. We'll kind of wait and see. I think this is the big show. We're back on Google Maps right here. Obviously, here's Tropicana Field right here. We're just kind of zoom out and see. Here's St. Petersburg, and then here's Tampa Bay up here, right? So that's kind of the big thing. The Trop's right here, right? So we gotta zoom out right here. We got Tampa over here. We got the Tropicana Field down here. And we gotta just zoom in on the airport right here. This is obviously Tampa Airport. We can see Raymond James Stadium right here, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneer Stadium. And then George Steinbrenner Field is right here. It's really close to, downtown Tampa, right? I mean, basically right next to the airport right here, in a good location. So the problem for the Rays is kind of where they can build a stadium, right? There's not really a lot of viable land, which is the problem. And we've seen this talked about with a lot of the other situations, right? There's not a lot of viable land that they can put a stadium, get the stuff they actually want. It's going to be kind of hard because you obviously like to be in somewhere this region in Tampa, right? You don't really want to be down here where the Rays currently are. You want to be somewhere in here. And maybe if they go a little bit north Tampa, like, obviously the airport is right where my cursor is right here. Maybe if they can go somewhere over here, it wouldn't be as bad. You still wouldn't have to cross the bridge, which these bridges get pretty backed up by all the traffic and stuff. So maybe if they can go a little bit north, it'd be kind of good for them. I don't really know what the land situation is looking like. That's the main problem with this thing. It's a very interesting conversation about the Rays and kind of where they go for the future. I just pulled up for the lease for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and read the lease if you want to. In my personal opinion, if this gets done by September, probably, the end of the year, honestly, at this point, everything goes through. We go to 2026 under new ownership. So we'll see what happens with the team. We'll see if obviously their main focus is going to be getting a new stadium before they actually make the team better, probably. But the team's been pretty good with the GMs and the scouting staff doing a phenomenal job. Shout out to those guys in Tampa Bay doing a phenomenal job. But yeah, I think 2026, 27, you're at the Trop. Maybe an extension on this lease. I feel like there could be an extension, like this says a possible extension on the lease, right? just depending on where they could go with the stadium. Because like we've seen with the A situation, it's taken a long time for them to be able to get this Vegas stadium and get it built. I think a similar thing might be able to happen in Tampa. So we'll wait and see on that. Max 2029 is like, you know, like the last season we see the Trop probably. Maybe 2030 they get a new stadium. I don't know. There's so many different factors playing into this. We also don't know where they're going to get this land from. We don't know how much it's going to cost. But the first thing for the new ownership is going to be to build a new stadium 100% before they even, you know, start getting the team good. You want to be in a new facility that's brand new. That's going to be the first thing. Very interesting conversation. What do you guys think about all this stuff in the comment section down below? Do you guys like the Rays being bought? Do you want them to get a new stadium? I think most people do. I've been to the Trop. I personally like the Trop. I don't really mind it, but I know a lot of people want them to get a new stadium. And what do you think about them playing in George Steinbrenner Field for any postseason games? I think that would be pretty cool to see in my opinion. I would like to see it, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.